Right, Freelander 2, rear CV joint is leaking, and it failed. It passed the MOT advisory, but we're going to change it anyway because we like to keep these things tip top. Now we may have damaged it when we were messing about with that rear lift kit thing. I'm blaming you, Tyler. Yeah, he's taking the blame. He's good like that. Right, so you've got a drive shaft here. Let's dive underneath, Tyler. Get your lamp out and let's. Oh, no. We don't need to jack this up, Tyler. It's jacked up already. Right, so, I could use my creeper. Right, what have we got going on here? So we are looking for a, right, if you hold it about there, we have a drive shaft coming out of the middle of the hub somewhere. I can't see him, he's under here. And at each end, he has got a constant velocity joint. So you can see that one there in the middle, and you can see the other one there if I get underneath, and you can see we've mangled him all up. He's dripping grease and stuff. So right, so to do the outer one, they come as a kit. We'll have a look in a minute from Land Rover, but basically we're going to try and get you can see that one there. We're going to try and cut the clip there, and we are going to try and pull the drive shaft out of this one. We're going to leave the main bit in the rear differential that's there. We are going to pull that out, so we're going to undo the tie bars and undo the bottom tie bars and swing the hub away from us. Right, now let's have a look. So the kit, you can't buy it. Oh, grab that, Tyler. Oh, grab that as well. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, thanks, Tyler. Right then. Right. So the kit, Land Rover do not sell the outer or the inner. You have to buy them both. And it sort of makes sense. And we'll show you how, right. But what do you get from Land Rover? What's the part number, Tyler?
Sure is.
It is all that there. Right. You get a blue bag. Sealed. Have we got any, does it say who's made it or where it's made, Tyler? JLR, it says Soufflet. Quantité. I reckon that's made in France, Tyler.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised. We like France, don't we, Tyler?
Seems to also make soufflés.
Soufflé. What is this? I know it's a sort of food, but we now need to. Right then. So look, we've got more plastic bags, and we've got. So it's a cotte boîte and a cotte roue. Okay, we're gonna have to brush up. I need to brush up on my French.
You never run out, or?
I don't know. Now you're guessing. A roue is a wheel. I thought.
Is that wheel side?
And what?
Body? Oh, I don't know. I'm
right,
guessing.
So we have got some grease.
Oh.
Grease in a bag, and we have got. And we have got some clips. Oh, we've got a whole trailer of clips. I know what this is. That's the retaining ring that holds the joint on. So I reckon this is the inner one. I reckon that's the inner one. I ought to keep them together, didn't I?
Yeah.
Right, so, and that's the clip, and that's another springing clip right then. So we've got two of those, or we've got a circlip, and we've got, now these, we'll have to get a special tool for crimping these, because you're supposed to go in those little edges there and right. Right, what have we got in the old cotte roue? Right then, we've got a much smaller sachet. Right, and we haven't got so many. So there we go. So there we go. See? They look slightly different. Right, so that's that. So right, what we're going to do now, we're going to jack the wheel. We're going to undo the hub nut first. Then we're going to undo the trailing arms, pull the hub towards us, drop it out, slide the whole thing out, get it up in the vise. Job done. Right,
easy as that.
Easy as that, bang. Right, Tyler's got the wheel off, so we're ready to have a look at it. Right, so what we've got to undo, because we're going to bring this whole hub, it's going to swing this way, we've got to just loosen off the things that are going to stop it swinging out. Thank you, Tyler. So let's take loosen these brake hoses out of these little retaining clips. They just on little rubber grommets there. So that gives you the freedom there. And this is your ABS sensor here. Right then, okay, right then. There we go, so that's all free. Then you've got this little drop link here that goes to your anti-roll bar. You've got to undo that, so I'll get Tyler to do that. Well, if we're lucky, the nut will just unscrew and come off. If you're unlucky, you'll have to hold the middle with an Allen key. So Yeah, and then you'll have to put a ratchet spanner round the outside to undo the nut, because sometimes when it's loose it starts just spinning because there's a ball joint at the back here. So let's, Tyler, right, that's what you can get on the tools. I will do your light and camera.
15 mil.
15 mil, is it? Oh, we're lucky.
He's off.
He's off. So there's the nut. Oh, let me focus on it. There we go. Yeah. Right, that's it. Right, so that drops that out of the way. So we're all sort of ready now. So the next thing we're going to do is undo the two bottom tie bars. So we'll join you. We'll get the socket sorted, and we'll join you under there. Right, I'm on the creeper. Look, I need to get a creeper with an adjustable head, but the blue roll is doing the job. Right, let me grab the camera, Tyler. Right, so what size are these? So we're underneath here. Right, and we are gonna. So I've got a 22 mil spanner on the inside. I think it might be 21, but 22 does.
We haven't got a 21.
We've got a 21.
Find it.
Right then. And then what size are you on there, Tyler?
Got an 18.
18. Right then. Let's have a go. So we're going to go, yeah, so where are you going up? Yeah. So we're going to just take these bolts out the bottom here. Go on. You did them up. There you go. That's not... Yeah, you get a ratchet on it now. Yeah, we have had these off. And we copper greased them up, didn't we? Right, and then after that, we'll do the same on this other one, which is over here. You can see there. So we'll get those two off, and then we'll see how much we can swing it out. Right, so that's the drive shaft out. Now, what have we got here, Tyler? You haven't seen this yet. So we have got a little spring clip that we got in the kit. If I clean it up, and can you see that little spring clip there? We've got splines there, and this clip is supposed to stop that pulling out of the CV joint. It's because it sort of expands into a recess there and sort of forms a joint. So that shouldn't have come out that end so easily. And while I was trying to separate this joint here, I actually pulled out this. You see the little clip here as well, Tyler? Yeah. That is supposed to sort of stop it just falling out. But with a sharp, I was tugging on this, going, trying to separate these two, which we'll have a look how to do. And it pulled it all out. And luckily there's no oil leaking out the diff. So we've got no oil, so it's not too bad. So what we've got to do now, we've got to clean all this up and separate this. Now, people will be saying, why did we, I don't want to put this down. Let's go and put it in the vise. Why we only needed to replace this CV joint here. But the problem you've got, you can't change this CV joint because you can't get it over. Actually, we could have got it over there. We could have, if you're lucky enough, we could have just put this over, Tyler. This one, the one we want to change, we could have just cut that, slid that off, put it on and been back on the road. There was actually no need to take this off. But I'm going to put a new one on here as well. So it looks like we can cut this, slide this off, cut this, slide that off, put the new one on here, and put the new one here, and we're back on again. Let's see if that works. We ought to clean all the grease up and put new grease in, because we've got the new grease sachets there. And we've got the new clips here we can put in. Those little clips we can replace with those new ones there. So let's get this cleaned up and start putting it back together. Right, so we removed the... See, and we've cleaned all this up. Check for damage on your splines. And you can see here this little recess where the clip, the metal clip, holds the gaiter on. So with that one off, we could then cut this clip here. We'll just cut it with a grinder. And then we could slide that off. Right, now bear in mind I'm not an expert. I'm making this up. So the reason why we couldn't pull this off here is there's a little metal ring. Now, the little metal ring looks like this. So we now know that that kit there, everything from there, is for the differential side. So that's the inbound side of the drive shaft, and it's this here. So I think what we can do is we can lever this out and spring that off. So let's have a go at doing this. Right, so I've worked out, I've felt around to where the end is, and it looks like there's little grooves. There you go. Oh, I had it then. It sprung back again. So you could probably do this under the calf if you needed to. There you go. remove that clip, and then hopefully this will come off. So you could, that's an easier way of doing it, isn't it, Tyler? Yeah. I'd leave all this on the car. We will now get all the old grease out of here because we'll put all new grease. We'll clean all this up. So there you go. That's how. Now, are these balls going to fall out? Yeah. Yeah, their balls are going to fall out. So be careful. We'll clean all that up. We'll put some grease on and we'll put it all back together again. Right, so there we go. We've got the drive shaft. We've got the clip at the end. Where's there a clip at the end? Did we take that off, Tyler, or was that fallen off?
I'm taking it off.
I'm taking it off. I'm a bit worried. Well, I might have to look for that. Right, so we've got the drive shaft there, the spline end there. We've got to put a gaiter back on there. We have got this cage. This cage, you can see it's sort of tapered. So you would have to take that all the way off there if you wanted to take it off. Check on here for any damage, any bits of wear, but that looks absolutely mint. That's fine. And then we've got the ball bearings. How many have we got, Tyler? 3, 6, 8. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. Yeah. So that there. So we'll have to put new grease in there. We'll put new grease in there. We'll get all the ball bearings in situ. We'll slide that back over. Now, if you wanted to change there is a circlip on the end of there, Tyler. Can you see that? So you could take that off, separate those, take that circlip off if you were changing the CV joint. Right, so you could clean this up a bit more because we're going to have to put the new gaiter over this, but I think we'll be all right there. So we'll start to reassemble this now and let you know how we get on. Right, so you cut the corner of this sachet off. Oh, look at that. That's nice and clean now. Here's a different colour. Now, I don't want to put all of it in there, do I, Tyler? I want to keep a bit back for getting those. But it's nice to get everything nice and clean, isn't it? You're enjoying this job, Tyler. We don't get oily enough, do we, Tyler? We're always doing things with sticky bits and plastic on new cars. Right, I've got a little bit. Let's get real. Let's keep it real, Tyler. Right, let me have a look. So I've got to work out where. Right, hopefully the grease is gonna. It seems. I think the magnetic tray seems to have made it slightly magnetic, which is in our favour. Well, we've got enough grease. The trouble is, I ain't got much grease under the bottom there. Let's have a little bit. That's it. Right, I could rotate it round. Right, we're all in there. Right, I've got to line up with the. Where's my grooves?
Have you replaced the?
No, but that. Hold on. Rotate. There you go. That's all in. Right. Now we'll put the rest of the grease in, and then we'll put that. In fact, what I'm going to do before I put the rest of the grease in, and it gets really messy. See that lightning reactions, Tyler. Look at that. Finely tuned machine. This. Right. Let's get that in there. I don't think it's going to be too bad. No, look. That's it. So that's all in now, and that stops it coming off. So now we can grease it up on this. Right, here we go. What are you going to do here? It's like watching a master at work, but not. Right. Yeah, oh, they do. They're very gentle. I've got to be honest, you guys out there that do this professionally, hats off to you. You're really gentle with me in the comments. You don't go, you numpty. You might find it easier. Right, let's go. Right, we're going to try and slide that over. I reckon I'm going to do it in 2 stages, Tyler. All right, that's going to fall down a little bit. Oh, that looks like an accident of grease waiting to happen, doesn't it? All right, let's get it most of the way. Oh. Right. Don't clamp it on those splines if you can help it. Right, and this is where it's going to start getting messy, isn't it? Or not. Now, some people might say I need some grease in the gaiter, but I think I'm all right. I think I've got enough grease there and around. Oh, look at that. we are using genuine stuff. Now there should be a groove here that bit sits in. You see, I can just see the taper there. You just see that if I put my glove behind it. Yeah. So I know I'm in the right place. Right, so now we got to get, now can we get that big clip?
Separate that.
What's that?
Separate that big clip.
Ah, can we? Well, it looks like he's going on anyway. Cool. Right, so we've got a, in fact, can we get him onto the next? You're quite right, Tyler. How many can I get him on to? I hate these clips, just quietly, Tyler. Am I going to get that on to another one? Or am I going to have to, because I don't, that's loose, isn't it? So how do you, there must be a special way of getting that up. Right, so the other CV joint, which is just like this, is in the hub still. Now, what I'm worried about is getting that big band on that was, we're going to go and see if we can get the special tool for that. But what we'll do, I'm going to get that other hub, the other CV joint, out of this hub. So I've put the handbrake on fierce hard, and I've just stood on here. That's a 36mm socket. Now, if you are doing this job, blue roll is your friend. So make sure, and a 36mm socket. Now, sometimes you've got to be careful, hub nuts, because they don't always do anti-clockwise, but this one is anti-clockwise. You can run your finger round the thread and see if it comes out. So that one is, but not all cars. It's all to do with the rotation, and sometimes they figure it actually makes the nut tighter. So you have to watch that. Note for you, Tyler, there. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, now you may have to put the wheel back on if you struggle, but then you've got to get the socket through the wheel centre. But hopefully that socket would fit through the wheel centre. Let's have a look, would it, Tyler? Has it got half a chance? Yeah, it would, look. Yeah. So you have to pop the wheel centre out, put the wheel back on. If you're struggling to hold it, otherwise you're going to be there all day messing around. Right, let me put the impact drive. Okay, so these nuts, again, you should renew these nuts because these castellations, we're probably not going to. That's a tricky little sort of two-part nut. I've never known it to be a problem, but they recommend, but right, so that now should be able to pop out of there, right. So he's not moving. I guess he's been in there a while and he ain't keen on moving. So what we can do is we don't want to damage the thread, but we're going to damage the nut, aren't we? Right, let's have a look. What do you reckon, Tyler? Do you reckon will it go on backwards? So I've got that better surface to. I'm going to say it sort of defeats the purpose of it a bit, doesn't it? No, that doesn't seem keen. Right, what we'll do is we'll get a block of wood and we'll knock that with a block of wood. I think that's our best bet. Oh, look, is there one there ready? Right, I'll go and get a big hammer. Let's have a go. That's definitely going there. There you go. That's it. And then, there we go. So that's the CV joint there. So again, we can just clean all the excess grease out of that, put some new grease in. So what did we get with this side? So we've only got the 3 components there. So yeah, I don't think you can actually strip this down. All we can do is clean out what we can see on the outside. And then we've got to remember to put that on first, Tyler, before we put that on. Now, there is a tool, Tyler. Sorry, I'm teaching Tyler as well as explaining to you guys, but you'll know this. You can get some gaiters, rather than having to strip this down, you can cut the old one off, you can just disconnect the hub and you can push them over, and they do like some, because you've got to get that end all the way back over there. And they do like, there's some amazing tool, I'll put a picture of it on now, that you can sort of slide it over and really spread it like that. But you can see like that over that. You can get some that are split with a joint, but they last about a week. But we're doing it all properly-ish. Right, let's get this clean. Right, if you're going to put any, we've put the clips on there, although these clips do open up, don't they, Tyler? Yeah. But I just thought it's easier. So we've got the clip for that one, the clip for that. We've got this gaiter over. Make sure you get it in the right place. You can only just see the taper there. Right, hold on, that clip, Tyler, he's he fits, so he's not the right size for that. Right, we've managed to get that spring in there. It looked like it was just a bit big, so I just closed it up and it's fine. Now hopefully there's a lead in on the front. There's not much of a lead in, is there? There's a bit of a lead in, because what we've got to do now is, without damaging the threads on this end, we've got to get that so that now, I'm gonna do this before I do the grease tiler, because I'm not confident that this is gonna work. So now, right, I'm a bit worried about all of this, but let's have a look. We've got to make sure that, because this bit in here moves, we've got to make sure that it stays square. So let me just show you. You can move this in a bit around. So we want to make sure it's exactly square, and they're exactly in line, and that we want to make sure the splines are engaged. Right, and then I need to just gently whack that with a rubber mallet. Okay, so right, so I've got that on and it's fully connected now, and you will see that you cannot see any splines. So make sure you've got that right on, like you can see there. We are now ready to, I've got to slide that gaiter back up, get all the clips on, and we're ready to reinstate our drive shaft on the old Freelander 2. And then we just got to work out how to get it back in, because that's quite a long travel we've got to get now. Right, so we're just debating here. Again, we're not experts at this. So, right, so this total length here is longer than the length we've got on the car available, because we've got the diff here and we've got the hub here. Now, we've loosened the hub, and we'll show you. We're trying to get the hub out to get this distance in. Now, we're debating which end to get in first. Now, this end here is this length, right? And look, highly scientifically, look, and that is slightly shorter than this end. So if we put the diff in, but of course, the length we got it out with was only this length. But I'm struggling a bit with this pin, and I want to get it all greased up. And the other problem I've got is getting this clip on. Now, if we use the cable tie, it would be possible, but it's right in the hub. The hub almost comes round it, so it's going to be difficult to get this clip on nicely. My preference is to get this all made up as one shaft off the car, and then put it in. Put that end in, and let's have a look what we've done on the car then, shall we, Tyler? I'm looking around for my light as we go. I've got it. We're not in a mess, are we? We're all tidy and organised.
Yep.
Right, so
tidy.
What we've done is we have undone the third bar. We have undone this trailing arm bar there, which was a nut and a bolt that I put neatly up there. There you go. Big nut and bolt there. So that was easy enough. And that has given us a lot more freedom with the hub. It's now just hanging on its shock absorber at the top. This side is caught on the handbrake cable. And I've loosened the bracket there, taken the bracket off, which was one 10mm bolt that held it on. And that's given us a bit more room, but we're hoping that by pulling it this way and moving it, sort of swinging it that way, we'll get enough to get that one in. But only time will tell, but we're going to go for it. So let's build up. So we've got to go and see Cobby and see if he's got the special tool for that yet as well.
Yeah.
But let's, oh look, that grease is different, look. That's grey grease.
Ooh.
Boy, they're very specific on what grease you use at which end, don't they, Tyler?
It seemed to be before.
It all smelt the same, it all stank, didn't it? Right, so there we go. So we've got the grease in there. We're going to slide that up onto, because I'm at the wrong place down here now. But yeah, I didn't show you, did I, Tyler? You were unloading the lorry. Look. But you can't see any splines when it's on properly. So that's a good
indicator.
There you go. Are we on that taper yet? There you go. You can feel it. So again, you can just see that taper. And that's slid on there. Those genuine CVs are brilliant, aren't they? They literally just, those gaiters. Right. So we'll get our clips on, and then we'll go and have a go at getting something that's that big in a gap that's that big. That's the fun bit. Right, so we've just gone and stolen these off the local garage, thank you Mr. Cobb. And then that goes over there, and that should crimp that up. Does it all look like it's in place, Tyler?
Yeah.
And then that should.
There you go, that's doing something.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so that's all good and squidged out there, that's lush. Right, so we can do those two easy enough. but we're struggling with the big one, aren't we, Tyler? He hasn't got a tool for doing this type. So we're gonna have to look if we've got a tool. We might have to go up the local motor factors and get the tool for doing this type of, you know, we're going to some weird Land Rover only tool. Right, we are on plan B. Is it B or C or D now, Tyler? I lose track. We change our minds. We make it up as we go along. So this clip has defeated us. We tried to do something clever. I can't find the tool. If you know where to buy this tool from, let me know and I will put a link in the description so that people can buy it if they need it. Right, we've been up the motor factors. Shout out to Cotswold Motor Equip. Thank you very much. And they have said you need these, Simon. So this is the sort of universal CV joint clip. So let's have a go with these. And because we like to give people money, we bought a set of these for ourselves so we don't have to borrow copies. Our general rule is we'll borrow tools, but if we know we need them, we then go and buy them. Rather than buying stuff we don't need. Right, here we go.
We use it all the time now.
We will use it all the time.
That works.
Right, so I guess we've got to get this. Let's get that round there. It's a little bit, and then. Ah, look, that's on the limit of the. We're right on the limit of that one, aren't we, Tyler? That's as.
Hope that we can squeeze
hope
it.
that we can squeeze it, because I could do it going one more really. Just gonna. Right, let's see. What is it? Oh, I've slipped off. These are tricky to use. Oh, I've got it, haven't
Yeah.
I? It broke. I over egged it, Tyler. No. So you can't give out too much beef, can you? Yeah, I think it probably was. I think I perhaps over. Yeah, that's tight enough. Right, so we can cut off that excess and we're done. We've just broken one. Right, we'll keep going. Right, Land Rover clips. We've sort of bodged it, mastered it. So the way to do it is to get some nice adjustable pliers. You have got a longer leverage, longer handles, more leverage, not longer leverage. You squeeze that there. Now, it wouldn't quite reach those. Now, if you look at the little things here, let's test this camera again, Ty, let's get it the same way as it is there. You see these little bits here, and that's what it's got to hook under. In the end, I had to get the angle grinder with the cutting disc, and I had to just shave a little bit off and create a new one. It was literally like 1.5 millimeters. So and when we managed to squeeze it and fit it all on, and that is tight as tight can be. So there must be a tool for doing that. It wasn't on the bit with the 2 bits over there. So we now have, we've done a video on different types of CV. Right, we've just got to try and get that in now, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. Right, so you join us under the Freelander 2, and it's all gone in. So you can see we've got the inner drive shaft. That's all fully up there, engaged in its oil seal. We've got all our CV joints have all gone in. All the lower joints all gone back in, and you can see around the front here that the I'm gonna pass to you, Tyler. The nut. We had to release the handbrake to make sure we could rotate the disc to get the spline on. That's come through there. We've just got to put that nut on, get that nut tight up, and tighten everything up, and we're back on the road, aren't we, Tyler?
Pretty
We've got
much.
to put the handbrake cable links back on, put all that back together, and we're there. So right, we're flying now. Right, so there we go. Tyler's finishing off. So what have we learned? If you are doing your rear suspension spacers and you're doing all that, just be careful you don't damage your CV joint. That's the first thing we've learned, isn't it, Tyler? Second thing we learned is that by undoing the bottom tie bars, all 3 of them, you can move the strut out far enough to extract and refit the drive shaft, which is really good. We've also learnt that you might want to get some different clips to these. These clips are really hard. I mean, we sort of went up to get in, but you can tweak them a little bit with a grinder. So maybe get yourself some alternative ones. Get yourself a 36mm spanner for the hub nut. That's not a common size. Other than that, everything, those genuine CV joint gaiters, they were sweet. They literally clipped on. They were perfect, other than the clips. But we'll have a look for a special tool for those clips if we can find one. Other than that, we're all good, aren't we, Tyler? Oh, and you will need that other tool that we showed you there with the little pincer movement to do that. So we are ready. We're ready to take her on her first off-road adventure, I think.
Yeah.
We'll get it cleaned up, get some tacks on it.